you see that?
Yes, it's been mentioned a couple different times this year. We do see it, we feel it. The most important thing is that our guys feel it. So that's good.
Is it an exaggeration to say that something like that could impact their, performance on the mat or push them a little bit more
I
in
think
practice?
I think anytime you have backup, it's good. Anytime there's extra oomph behind you, it's good. A lot of times in athletics, and even high-level athletics with elite mentalities, there's pettiness and sometimes bitterness and jealousy. And I think there's probably some jealousy there, but it's healthy jealousy. And they're going to help each other. And we have a group of seniors that in a class this big, where you have two guys actually that have been in the lineup before, and a guy like Jaron Glosser who's been close. It could be a different dynamic, but their maturity and their leadership has showed up in these situations. So Paul Glenn and Vince Turk, they're not in the lineup. They're not the number one guy. They've done their job like they're supposed to do their job. And I mean supposed to do their job. That's what you do when you're a young man. That's what you do.
Why do you think a guy like Glesser or Glenn has stayed all these years, considering they really haven't got that many opportunities?
Well, they have had opportunities. They were both in the lineup as sophomores. Paul Glenn was an integral part of our team before DeSanto, and I would argue that he's even more of an integral part of our team after DeSanto, because you gravitate into a role that you don't want to be in, but you still have to be there. And the funny thing is I've had some conversations with him where, and just recently, where I told him, when you're reliable, people rely on you. And so Spencer Lee is relying on him for warm-up. So he's got kind of a crappy job, if you want to look at it that way. But he doesn't look at it that way. And when he's under the weather, and because he's reliable and somebody calls on him, almost to his own detriment, he'll rally to the cause. And that's a guy that you will remember. And I remember workout partners like that. I know Terry talks about Mike Hatcher. He's down in Chattanooga right now, and I know Terry talks about Mike Hatcher, being reliable for him and those types of things. So, our alum in the past have been important that way, even the guys' names that aren't on the wall, in the roles that they've played, and it's not always the case. So it's probably something that we should enjoy, and that's good that you're asking the questions about it, because it doesn't always happen that way. We've had some cases where we've had some ninnies, and ninnies don't belong in elite level mentality organizations.
Could you explain a little more what a ninny is?
A ninny.
Okay.
A ninny,
Yeah,
a guy
who
that
doesn't take it
complains and cries and whines and pisses and moans. And
next 3 weeks, Abe is going to have matchups against other freshmen or true freshmen, that type of thing. Could you talk about these matchups he's going to have, the fact that they're more his age or sort of doing what he's doing at the same time?
Yeah, I don't look at it that way. I look at it like this is Division I wrestling. University of Iowa is putting their best team on the mat. That includes Abe Assad. And I know he doesn't differentiate between the experience level. He's still got to be ready to go. You're referring to Aaron Brooks, maybe.
Yeah. And maybe Rocky Jordan.
Rocky Jordan coming up, yeah. So, but we just got to get ready to go for some matches that are going to be in Carver Hawkeye Arena, and then we're going to have to get ready to go for some matches that are on the road. And he's up for it. He's proven that.
What did you see in Abe in his high school career that you knew that he could do this right away?
I think you see a guy got better in, an environment that favored, a work ethic. It wasn't an environment that, where there are a bunch of ninnies hanging out. Izzy Martinez runs a very regimented program, and he's a tough coach to please. And there's probably some similarities there. Not that he doesn't have fun or whatever, but it just that the fun is, go out and, take names. And you saw him get better and thrive in an environment like that, and then you just watch him in the room. You watch the difference maybe between the room and between competition. And he definitely put his best foot forward in the competition. You saw him shine, and he dropped some matches that, maybe he shouldn't have, but his own evaluation was right on. Like, he lost a match earlier this year, I remember, and he was talking about it, and I went back and watched the film after talking to him. I didn't even have to watch the film. I went back, that's exactly right. You nailed it, and that's pretty good quality when you can evaluate and be hard on yourself and own it a little bit. Maybe you're not looking through rose-colored glasses. So those things are what we saw. I don't think you could have predicted that we were going to use him, especially, having a fifth-year senior in there, Cash Wilkie, who we know can still do the job for us. But, watching him through the fall, into the winter, into the Midlands.
Coach, you guys have wrestled a really tough schedule this year. What benefit does this team get out of wrestling such a tough schedule?
Yeah, I wanted to interrupt you. When you said tough schedule, it's always a tough schedule, and we got to be ready to go. I didn't even hear the last part of your question. How do you get ready to go in a tough schedule? You do it week to week, opponent to opponent. You're looking for characteristics. You're not dwelling on, things that our opponent does. We worry about and focus and keep things in-house and do what you set out to do. And, our guys didn't let that happen, last Saturday, where they could have, because, Nebraska had kept it close in some of those matches, and we were able to, overcome some of it. And, it's a lesson. It's a glaring lesson. So, good. We can learn with some success, and, Warner and Mirren, but, those guys will learn with maybe not success, but the learning's going forward. But better to learn with success.
Anything else?